Hey guys, Gaming Sandwich Reviews here. So I'm doing a review on Sonic CD. So I've gone back to it from quite a few years. So if you don't know anything about me, I love the Sonic series ever since I was younger. I first had it on the Sega Mega Drive or Genesis if you live in America. One of my favourite series and just a great series in general. Always preferred the 2D games just because it's like one of the first games I played when I was like 5 or 6. So calculate that if you can work out how old I am, answer in the comments below. So yeah, Sonic CD. First impressions, I remember seeing like the intro cutscene as the kid, and like obviously, growing up, my only ever saw was it, the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and the Sonic Saturn series, and the animation quality is just for me is amazingly better. I prefer Sonic's shaded blue. The spikes they seem to work better. Obviously, the spin attack looks much more brilliant. So, just a brilliant thing to see on like the Mega CD. I never actually owned a Mega CD. I actually first got this on the Sega PC series or Sega Windows back in about, what was it, 95, 96. So we had a copy of Windows 95, I believe it was. We got it, came with Doom 2, and I ended up purchasing a copy of Sonic CD because I've wanted that game for ages. I love the artwork and just thought, yeah, I'll play this. So my review, I'm going to break down what I feel about the zones first. Well, first playstyle, then like how the zones work. I am playing this on the mobile, so I am playing this currently on not the original con I had, so that I purchased this ages ago. So it's not the free one; it's actually a purchased copy. I think I paid like £5-6 for it just because it was just nice on my phone at the time. I'm currently playing on a really good Huawei, so it's running really nice, and yeah, the res is really good on it. So. Going for the review of Sonic CD as a whole. Now, if you're thinking of it as like a Sonic game, now, I'd say in common, Sonic 1 has a lot of its traits derived... Sorry, Sonic CD has more of its traits derived from Sonic 1. A lot of the traits are similar. It's Sonic on his own. There's like no real help you're getting from anyone like Tails, Knuckles, or anyone else like in later games. So it's very much like a feeling of isolation, but it also has that more exploratory route that kind of Sonic 1 has. It's not kind of like a dash to the finish like Sonic 2 was. I felt Sonic 2 was more kind of like how fast can you blitz through the level for the first couple of levels with less of an exploratory factor. Sonic CD wants you to explore. I mean, for the first act of every zone, you've got a good future, a bad future. So you've got a past, a present, and a future. For the second act, you've got a past, a present, a good future, and a bad future. So you have technically, in the first 2 levels, they've literally cracked in like literally nearly at least 6 levels already, which is insane. These are full levels, from start to finish. If you, if you die, you go back to the beginning. And it feels a shame that, for such a big game, you feel like, I don't feel like anyone really explores this enough, which is a shame, as it doesn't feel as the exploring sections don't really lend itself to Sonic as a personal thing. I'd say it lends itself more to Mario. So then that's a personal preference. It's knowing nothing about the series as a whole, but I just feel like this game just tries to be very experimental. If you look at like Sonic's poses, animations, even like the item boxes, especially the shield. The shield is exactly the same as it is in Sonic 1 through the styling. Like, like just a very thin shield with a nice rotation round, whereas like Sonic 2 was more of a thicker shield with like the kind of like more of like the blue outline, kind of like something looking like something like off the Banner of Isaac. So in regards, I'm going to go through the zones. So in the first one, Palm Tree Panic, you're very much your normal hill zone kind of thing. It's nice that it doesn't actually have hill in the name. The boss is horribly easy. It is terrible. I look for the zone. I actually like the aesthetic of the good future. I feel the good future is really beautiful. It's really well designed. The bad future, I feel like could have been a bit different. The color scheme, I'm not too... I don't know. It's just a personal preference with that. I don't know. The color scheme, I feel like could have been a bit better. But for the good future, I just love the aesthetic of it. The color palette, it's just beautifully well done. Second zone, Collision Chaos, very much lends itself from, I'd say, more Spring Yard Zone from Sonic 1. Has that kind of aesthetic to it. I feel that like these are what I would like say are more zone retrains from the original game. Just like try to make them better. The past Collision Chaos, I like. It's just a nice aesthetic level change. Like you got the main, which is normal present, which is pink. Then you got the past, like an orange color. So I don't know. I like that. The abundance of springs in that level is absolutely ridiculous. Springs and bumpers are just way too overloaded. I believe there's one section where you're bouncing through these kind of like little things that look like frog spawn for some bizarre reason. I don't understand why. I believe they've reused again a couple of Sonic games, especially in Sonic Triple Trouble. But they just do that, and it just feels like you bounce, hit one, bounce back, hit one, bounce back, hit one, and it just feels really slow and clunky. I would prefer something a bit better. It just feels a really sluggish way to slow down the level. Bear in mind, these are very quick levels. A lot of these you can beat in under about 2 minutes, save the exploring aspect. So Collision Chaos, not my favourite. I mean, it obviously is the first level you get, well, the second level you get introduced to Amy, and it's the level where, like, for a plot point, the Metal Sonic kidnaps her. So I guess in that regard, it, like, plays a part in sort of the story, but apart from that, not really. So, yeah, Tidal Tempest is the next one, and I'm hoping I get all these in order, which I probably won't, but, don't sue me. Tidal Tempest, just I'd say a very much better looking Labyrinth Zone, and instead of like the yellow background, which Labyrinth has, it's blue with a mix of yellow. I do like that. It's a nice thing. I like the beginning of the level where you see the volcanoes kind of like in the background and exploding a bit more. It seems to have like the background, kind of like background mask kind of statues that Labyrinth Zone has, which makes me weird how like they have them on the little planet or Miracle Planet, whatever they call it in this point in time in the continuity. I forget. So yeah, the only thing I kind of really like about it is the Bad Future. I just think the Bad Future, just the aesthetic of that's really nicely designed. I like the boss. A very interesting one, very similar to Labyrinth in the fact that it's a chase. But whereas with Labyrinth Zone, you're just kind of chasing Robotnik up, or Eggman, I'll use both in this term. You're chasing him up this kind of tunnel and going to the end and the water's catching you up. Whereas with this one, you kind of just chase Robotnik round a circuit and then you think, okay, this is really easy. This is boring. Then you go down to him and he's got the bubbles. And I just thought that was a really, really good concept. It's very different. I do feel like some of these bosses are really gimmicky. Collision Chaos is dire. I absolutely despise it. It's like Sonic Pin. Just reminds me too much of Sonic Pinball, and it's just, you hit him once, and then it's you win. I really hated that. So that's why I didn't really go on with Collision Chaos, because I hated that boss. I just thought it was terrible. So cheap. So go on with that. Next, I'd say is my favourite zone is Quartz Quadrant. I absolutely love Quartz Quadrant. The main present is nice, it's different. It kind of has like almost a Mystic Cave kind of feel, but a bit more light-hearted, with like the gems in the background. And the past version of it, I absolutely adore. The kind of like the lake in the background. I just think that could have been, for me, just could have been a level used in a later game, and I feel like it should have really get a more of a recognition than it actually does. Quartz Quadrant's an amazing level. I absolutely adore it. The boss, I find, which one is Quartz? I forget the bosses sometimes. From what I remember, is Quartz Quadrant's boss I really liked. So that's it. I don't know. I think the level for me just overshadows it. I just like the design of the past. The future, from what I remember, is not that amazing. Nothing that really kind of stands out to me. I did feel sometimes the shoots were a bit out of place. I like the idea of the levels where you kind of flip the lever and the conveyor belt. It was just, that to me was just a nice little thing. Oh no, the level for Quartz Quadrant's the one where you smack him down onto the conveyor belt. I don't know. It was just a different boss, different style. I don't know. I thought it was quite good. I like the idea when you see Robotnik when his feet are going, I'm going to touch the floor. Help me. But yeah, that was quite fun. So, Wacky Workbench. Stupidly bouncy floor. Nothing more to be said for that. The past I like. Futures kind of, the problem is for me is that a lot of the Dark Futures have a lot of brown, and it just seems to be like, what we're going to do for Dark Future though, and just put a freaking brown palette on it. Just seems a bit of a go-to. So for that one, I didn't like it. The boss, I don't know. I like the fact that like the boss is quite big and bulky. But again, it's 3 hits and that's it, which just feels like a theme of Sonic 3. It's Sonic 3 hit rather than Sonic CD. But yeah, that's that at the end of the day. So, and I believe next we come to one of my favourite zones, Stardust Speedway. I love this. The good and the bad feature for this one is one of the most best stark contrasts However, I love the fact that like you go for the dark future, basically looks like the present, but it's like all the rust from like the kind of brass instrument type of it's like gone away, so that looks really nice. You can see it like corroded, and it just looks really cool, and like the kind of the dark storms in the background instead of the starlight, almost like background. Haha, starlight, call back to Sonic 1. But just a great design choice. And then you've got the good future, which looks like some kind of fairground. I don't know, I just feel it's really, really good. I just love the background. I think it's amazing. The boss fight with Sonic, again, it's a chase fight, which is not bad. Robotnik's chasing after you with his insta-death kill laser, and you're racing against Metal Sonic or Metallic, so whichever way you want to call it. I like both names. I don't know, I don't know. Maybe it's because I grew up with Sonic the comic in the UK. I just find that I like Metallics. It sounds more menacing, if that kind of makes sense, but I really love it. Next we go to Metallic Madness. Now, Metallic Madness feels for me like you've just basically had Scrap Brain Zone and Metropolis Zone had like this weird love child. A lot of the gimmicks I find are very reminiscent of a lot of traits. You've got the gears, well, the magnetic gear pulleys that are more reminiscent of which are in Scrap Brain Zone. You have the weird little like bombs that explode, which were in Starlight Zone in Sonic 1. I love the shrink ray. I think the shrink ray is very underutilized. I mean, it's only in one act, and I think it's so cool you actually using the icon symbol from when Sonic had a continue from a special stage. I just think that was a nice genius little move. It's like, here we go, got this sprite, we're not really using much with it. I don't know, let's actually use it as a key feature for a bit. I don't know, I just feel like it could have been cool. I like what they later on did in Sonic Mania and made you actually fight a boss as Little Sonic. I thought that was really nice, really cool. I actually wish they actually did that with Sonic CD rather than actually expand upon it later on, like over nearly 20 years later, which is terrible. But, you know, design choices are design choices, so... the only other thing I can really say about, I don't know, I think it's like the past, I just don't really care for it with Metallic Madness. The good future, again, is a bit different because it goes into a light blue with the, like a kind of like futuristic utopia kind of thing, and I'll use that kind of trope with like a utopic vision of the air, which is nice, it's different, and I don't know, I wish they'd just done something different with like the final boss area. Because to me, the final boss, for me, of Sonic CD is the most lackluster thing ever. You've just got Robotnik standing by 3 blocks, and all you basically do is just like anyone, it's just like literally just run up, smack it, lose your rings, grab the rings, smack him again, and just you proceed to do that. The boss is fairly easy. It just feels a shame because even Final Zone, the bosses in Sonic 1 is intimidating. Sonic 2, the boss is very intimidating. You've got no rings. It's extreme. It feels like even you've got 2 bosses, but those 2 bosses, when you're like a kid with no rings, just feel like a gauntlet. So that's fine. Sonic 3 on the Genesis Sega Mega Drive. Again, you have that bit where Knuckles, first you fight the Robotnik where he fires those cannonballs at you, and then you have like your interlude with Knuckles, and then you have this like kind of tower thing that you have to destroy. Then you have what is known as, I believe it's Big Arm now. That's intimidating. I mean, that boss, you could shake you could turn you out of Super Sonic if not anyone's had the experience of this shock of that other game, where literally you've got a boss where it's like, oh, here's my invincible mode. No, I'm slapping your bitch face right out of that. So that's, again, intimidating. Sonic and Knuckles, the bosses are intimidating. Sonic CD, they're bigger. Robotnik's bigger, but they just feel lackluster in terms of, like, their offensive capabilities. And it just feels a shame that this game has such promise, but the bosses... If I'm going to liken this to another game, so for me, lackluster bosses, the only 2 games which I feel, which I personally really love, and I think these games, I liken it to Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. Again, a lovely, great game, but bosses are incredibly lackluster. They just don't feel like they're intimidating. They don't feel boss-worthy. They feel mini-boss worthy. Or it's like, it's like the, blip in the road. They don't feel like they're there to give you a challenge. And I personally like my challenges to be hard-earned. The only thing that feels challenging in this thing is the special stages. Now, when you see my run of this, my special stage runs are terrible because I, being the idiot that I am, was playing this on my mobile and I was using my mobile cover, so my response time on my fingers is absolutely dire, and my cover is not entirely the best. So if I was recommending you to play this, even though I did on my phone, I would honestly recommend using some kind of hand controller. I reckon you can probably get like one that can hook up from an Xbox One. That's just what I'd personally recommend. But apart from that, I'd say the special stages, I think Sonic 3 is good as an experiment. The animation by, I believe it's, where's it, Tokyo TV? Absolutely brilliant. They later on use that animation style in the Sonic OVA, which was later rebranded by, in the UK, AD Vision Films Limited, for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie with, I can't remember the dubbing cast. The dubbing's absolutely horrendous. I think in some ways it's a beautiful dub because it's just a beautifully terrible dub. It's one of those lovely things where it's just beautiful because it's bad. Again, another thing with Metal Sonic. I would still say to you, get this game. It's a good game from your collection. There are much worse, Sonic games, i.e., Spinball 06. If you like those games, fair dues, but I do not believe they were worth the money. Even there are some issues with, Sonic CD with everything. I only believe the last level, it just on Metallic Madness 3, like that bottomless pit area is absolutely annoying. I think that's the only time you really have like a really bad area for bottomless pits. It's just like they've just slammed this like really nice bit, has that what they call it, like spinning platforms, which I can't believe. I think they do use in Scrap Brains, and I do apologise. But that's the only time I really thought the platform was a little bit like tricky. But apart from that, no. I think if I had to say, if I describe Sonic CD in anything, I'd say gimmicky. Each level does seem to have its own nice little gimmick, and that's never a bad thing, but it feels like some of them are much better than others, and some of them could be explored better than others. Again, in some cases, questionable design, in some cases, really good design, and things that just feel underutilized for the greater good. I believe you should give it a play. Make up your own mind for yourselves. I'm going to try and do some more reviews. If you guys like this, give it a thumbs up. I don't do these very often, and I want to try and get more into games reviews as much as, I'm not going to, stop doing my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, but I just feel like I've wanted to do games reviews for years, and I've never really had the outlet, or I want to say the inclination, but I have had the inclination, but unfortunately work and everything's got in the way of that. So now I'm kind of trying to do something a little bit more for me. So hopefully you guys like this. Leave comments and suggestions of games that I can probably play. I haven't really got a capture card at the moment, which I am working on. A friend of mine's got a good deal he's sorting me out with, but I'm just mainly doing mobile stuff. So if you can recommend something that's free for me on mobile, or for a reasonable price, I'll do it. So that'll be it. So thank you very much, guys. Have a great day, and thank you, and see you in the next video.